We were having a very serious discussion over dinner last night about the possibility of a puppy. Now, I know this sounds insane to a lot of you, but I consider having a puppy in the house to be a household issue. Even though it will be my puppy, but you understand having a puppy in the house affects everybody. And we definitely we all need to be ready for it, because the first 6 months of bringing in a dog from the pound is the worst. While they work out, they actually live there, and they work out how to manipulate everybody properly and stop trying to escape. It's going to be a fun experience, to put it mildly. So I was having a discussion about that, and were we all ready for that? And we're going to have one more conversation, just to sort of make sure we're all up to speed. And then I might just buy myself a puppy for Christmas. Not a puppy. I prefer to get dogs that are about a year old. They're still puppyish, but they're not totally puppyish. And they're still very easily trained, or retrained, as the case normally is. And the only thing is, they're a lot more than a moving floor ornament. And, it's once they get to about 7 or 8, they start becoming moving floor ornaments, where you're sort of going, excuse me, can I just step over you for a second? Whereas when they are in the 1-year-old stage, you walking over them is something I will do because it's a trust level. I will teach my dogs to let me walk over them. Oh gosh, that's a whole thing, isn't it? Yes, it's very important that a dog knows that you will be careful walking over him or her, or walking over their feet, or walking. I make sure that my dogs learn that trust level, so that when I accidentally do trip over them, which has happened, they know this wasn't any disrespect to them, it was an accident, and they get it. However, when you first have them, they don't know that. And especially a dog that maybe has been kicked in its life, or a dog that has been abused in some way, right? It's difficult for them to have that gap between being abused and then accidentally tripping over them, which might feel like a kick, but it wasn't. It was an accident. And the other thing that I've always done with dogs is, if ever I do have a mistake that I make like that, when the intent was not to do that, and I may have scared them a little, I will actually go down to floor level and have a long conversation with them. And I know that probably sounds really weird, but it's really, it's really important for, I've always thought anyway, for my animal to know that this was a mistake, this was not an intent. And what I've also found is that when I hit the floor to talk to them, I'll go down on the floor. I won't give them a fright doing that. I'll just go down on the floor and almost lie next to them and have a conversation about, in a very calm voice, and stroke them and apologize for what I did. And what I've found out is, it's amazing how quickly they will lift a paw and put it on top of you. So I like to believe that they're forgiving me in that. And they have such a sense of humor. That's what I love about them. Now, I've got to admit that Bean had a sense of humor above the average. There was something about Bean's sense of humor. He knew, he was a lot like Juliana, right? He knew the game he was playing. And I think that's what made it so funny. And the fact that Bean was so fascinated with the broadcasts, how he used to jump up and, he'd jump up, if I was in my bedroom doing it, he'd jump up on the bed and then put his head over my shoulder and look at the people and listen to them. And then, or he'd photobomb the broadcasts. It's just like really mean. I think he got jealous. I don't know who you're talking to. Why can't I play with them? You're obviously having a good time. Why can't I have a good time? A good one. Okay, so I guess the thought of the day for me today will be joy. I always feel very joyful for having Benji, Judy, and the children in my life. I feel very joyful for the friendship that they give me. And for their understanding, I think, in a lot of ways. I think the fact that Judy totally understood that I was not somebody who was going to be going to be good at changing nappies and being useful like that, which of course all her family is brilliant at that sort of stuff. And she never seemed to hold that against me. She's like, oh, right. And then I just, I always laughed with her about it. And, I used to say things like, Judy, I love the way you think, I know, that you think I know how to do this. Be that. Because I realize how little I've ever interacted with babies. I mean, it's ridiculous. How can I be this old and not have interacted with babies? Well, none of my siblings had children. And even if they had, they were living in different countries, so that wouldn't have helped me. But, it was just like, I don't know why. It was just never happened. And so my knowledge base on babies is zero. Well, no, it's a bit more than zero now, but, it's pretty close to zero. And that's pretty unusual. I actually have a colleague at work who also, her knowledge base on babies is pretty zero-ish. And she and I have a lot to talk about. Because, it's just like, people presume just because you're female that you know these things, and of course you don't. Quite cute. I believe we're down to 119 days until spring, people. I know some of you want that one. And that means in 19 days' time, which is not very far away, we will be in the double digits instead of triple. Think about that. That will be very exciting. Now, of course, I'm bound to ask whether you've all finished your Christmas shopping. And I can imagine a lot of you rolling your eyes and going, I haven't even started yet, Sal, and that will be in my category. And I wonder whether you think you will spend more on Christmas this year or less. That would be my other question. I think what I'm going to do is I'm busy. We've just painted another part of the living room. And for those of you who've been watching for some time, the green painter's tape in my living room, yay, it's gone. We've eventually finished it. It's just amazing. I don't know how long that painter's tape was up there, for quite a long time. Years. Luckily, everybody that visited me understood that, we decorate in my household very slowly. And normally about this time of the year. So, we're having way too much fun in the summer to be painting. So, I can now put the furniture back and get everything back in place, because at the moment everything's all over my dining room table. And then it'll be time for the Christmas tree. And I'm going to do that in little stages. So I think tonight, in between doing the edits and everything, I am going to get the place tidied up, and then tomorrow night I will untidy it again with the Christmas tree. Go figure that one. For somebody who has brains for brains, that's a little bit stupid, isn't it? Never mind. It'll make sense. So I hope you have a joyful day today, everybody. I hope that the video that I put up with Benji, Judy, and the girls made you smile a bit. I have some more that will be coming in a couple of days. I just have reason not to be putting it up right now, and I'll explain that more when I put it up. It's not that I'm holding it away from you for any weird reason. It has to do with December stuff, and I don't want to spoil the December footage. So I'm sure that makes sense to some of you. And if it doesn't, pity, because I'm still not putting it up. All right, everybody, have a joyful day, and thank you for being in my life. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the care and consideration you guys gave me, and the genuine concern about my health when I did the eye thing. Thank you so much. All right, big hugs to you all. Bye-bye for now.